An old man was scrambling to pick up gold scattered all over the ground. After gathering the last piece, he stealthily picked up a rock and hid it in his hand. Just then, the officers gave the order to kill him. However, as the soldiers were about to open fire, the old man hurled the rock, triggering a landmine explosion. The officers, startled, immediately ordered his men to fire wildly ahead. To everyone's astonishment, the old man blocked all the bullets with a frying pan. Even Captain America would have exclaimed, "Damn, that dude's a beast." Believing the old man had been riddled with bullets, the officers called a halt to the firing and sent a soldier to check. But before the soldier could get close, a flying landmine instantly turned him to ashes. The officers then ordered the soldiers to flank the old man from both sides, but it was all in vain. Neither of them lasted more than 3 seconds before meeting their maker. To minimize casualties, the officers decided to use 2 female prisoners of war as human shields to scout the way ahead. By then, the old man had already made his escape. Exhausted, he collapsed under an abandoned car to rest. To tend to his wounds, he tied a belt around his thigh and, without any anesthesia, bravely pried the bullet out. The excruciating pain caused him to pass out instantly. Unbeknownst to him, the soldiers had already drawn near, accompanied by a military dog tracking his scent. Fortunately, the commotion woke the old man from his unconscious state. He quickly gathered the gold and hid under the car. Although the sightless soldiers failed to spot him, the military dog seemed to have picked up the scent of his blood. The old man then seized the opportunity to crawl under the enemy's vehicle. He took out a knife and punctured the fuel tank, letting gasoline drench his body, hoping this would throw off the dog's tracking. But he overlooked the fact that the dog could also detect the fuel leak. The soldiers immediately shouted for the car to stop for inspection. With no other choice, the old man crawled out from under the car and sprinted towards the river. But he couldn't escape the dog's keen eyes. A sniper promptly shot him in the leg. Determined to capture the old man alive, the officers ordered the dog to be set on him. As a dog charged towards him, the old man calmly lit a match and set himself ablaze with the gasoline. The dog frowned in its tracks, terrified, while the old man, engulfed in flames, ran towards the river. Despite the soldiers' relentless gunfire, they couldn't stop him from diving into the water. He used the weight of the gold to sink rapidly to the riverbed. The soldiers, who couldn't swim, could only wait on the shore. However, within half an hour, the old man had exhausted the oxygen in the water. As he surfaced to catch his breath, the sniper didn't hesitate to fire. The river turned crimson with his blood. The officers then ordered divers to go down and retrieve the gold. To their horror, as soon as a diver descended, the old man overpowered him with a single strike and took his oxygen supply for himself. When his comrades on the boat saw blood bubbling to the surface, they were terrified. But under the officer's command, they reluctantly jumped in, only to meet the same fate within seconds, turning the water red once again. The panicked survivors tried to escape in a small boat, only to be shot dead by one of their own. Strangely, even though the deserter had been executed, the boat continued to move. The sniper quickly set up a heavy machine gun and opened fire, but the old man, using the deserter's corpse as a shield, pulled off the same trick again. The officers was at a loss, watching the old man's incredible display. But then, the old man's dog suddenly ran over, giving the officers an idea to locate its owner. After numerous trials and tribulations, the old man finally returned to his hometown, only to find the entire town reduced to ashes. With no other option, he sought refuge in an abandoned gas station. Just as he was about to downsee off, his dog's barking woke him up, but the dog had a bomb strapped to it. He quickly disarmed it, but as soon as he threw it away, an explosion occurred, the shockwave knocking him unconscious. Moments later, soldiers hoisted him up by a rope and tied him to a wooden post. After struggling for a while, he went limp. The officers approached, placed a piece of gold in his pocket, and only after confirming the old man was truly dead did he leave with peace of mind. But as soon as they were out of sight, the old man, who had been faking his death, came to. He used his body's swaying motion to step on a screw and then, enduring the pain, impaled his wound onto a steel. Barely in this way could he prevent himself from being strangled to death due to exhaustion. The next morning, a fighter jet arrived to refuel. The powerful air current generated as it flew overhead loosened the bolt, causing the old man to fall from the post and narrowly escape death. When the pilot offered to give him a ride, the old man instead kicked him, sending him crashing into a rock and killing him instantly. Hearing the commotion, the squad leader rushed over to investigate, only to be knocked unconscious by the old man with a brick. Looking at the gold the officers had left on him, the old man felt deeply insulted. A plan for a proactive revenge began to form in his mind. Soon after, the squad of soldiers encountered something terrifying. Their own fighter jet was blocking their path. When they opened the cockpit, they found the pilot dead, his neck tied with the rope they had used to hang the old man the night before. Realizing something was amiss, the officers immediately ordered his men to retreat. But as the soldiers, still in a state of shock, climbed back into their vehicles, one of them dropped dead without warning before another could even figure out what was happening. The terrified survivors tried to escape, but the next moment, they were yanked out of the car and instantly became roadkill for a tank. Next, the old man distributed all the weapons to the oppressed women. Then, he climbed onto the driver's head and plunged a knife into him. The driver, though initially evading, couldn't escape his just desserts in the end.